reality isn't the way it appears to be or the way you wish things to be, but the way things actually are. Either use reality to your benefit or it'll automatically work against you.
Oh, that's strong.
And the reality is that AI is here.
It is.
AI used to be a lot more scary to me than it is now. I don't think it's going to replace people. I think it's just going to be a tool for us to work smarter. And it's like any other tool, people who get in early and use it to their benefit.
I don't think people understand. You can start using AI and really get pretty good at it pretty quickly. Everybody can use it. It'll teach you how to use itself. We do not have 20 years of rev up period like we did with the internet. We have an arbitrage moment, 18 to 24 months, and the whole world will be completely different. It'll be probably faster than that, but I think in our industry, we're still going to hold back a little bit because we are so slow to change.
Right.
I really believe in 18 to 24 months, it looks totally different. Welcome to the Grit Blueprint Podcast, the playbook for building unmistakable brands that grow, lead, and last in the built world. I'm Stephanie Couch, the founder of Grit Blueprint, and I'm a lifelong building industry insider. I was raised here, built my career here, and now my team and I help others win here. The truth is, you can be the best option in your space and still lose to someone else who simply shows up better and more consistently. Each week on the Grit Blueprint, I'm going to show you how to stand out, earn trust, and turn your brand into a competitive advantage that lasts. If you're ready to be seen, known, chosen, and become unmistakable, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Thank you for joining me on the Grit Blueprint Podcast. I am your host, Stephanie Couch, and we are coming to you live from the bustling floor on the Do It Best Market. We are in Indianapolis, and I'm here today with a very special guest, Rick Schumacher from LBM Journal. Welcome to the show, Rick.
Thanks, Stephanie.
And there's a lot of things happening around us right now.
There are.
People everywhere. The market floor actually just opened about 30 minutes ago. It's the first night of the show. We do a preview here. There's food. There's all the fun things. But I want to talk to you about some other fun things that you have going on, because I've actually known you for a while. You have an amazing industry magazine and online publication as well. So I've got a copy here, and you just gave me this. You didn't plan this, but I'm going to act like you did because I'm obsessed with golden retrievers. And this episode has, or this magazine cover has, a beautiful golden retriever on here, and his name is Blue. I see.
It is.
And this is actually... what you do is tell stories of people in the industry.
Correct.
And you've been doing this for a long time. So you have been in the industry longer than this, but you started LBM Journal in 2003.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about why you started it and what need you saw that you filled in the industry.
Okay, well, I started it. So the story is I started working, I worked for another magazine called Building Material Dealer starting in 1990. And I worked for that for 13 years, and I just kind of worked my way up. By 2003, I was running the day-to-day operations, and there was a lawsuit that put the magazine out of business. So I had to bring my team together and tell them, as of today, we're in Chapter 7 bankruptcy. So turn in your card key, and we can all go home because we're done. There's nothing else to do for us here. There's no more job, no more paychecks. So time to go. But I said, we've got a great team, a great product, a great reputation. So I'm not ready to walk away yet. So I'm launching a new magazine from home. Since there's no investors, there's no money for office space, there's no guarantee anyone's ever going to get paid. So who's with me? And so that's how we got started. So I started it because this is the one thing I knew how to do. And we had built these relationships. So 3 people came with, and 2 of them are still with me today.
Wow.
Yeah, Jody Cook, Redwood, our associate publisher, and Rich Hart, our design creative director.
Isn't it interesting how the things in life that could be the worst moments end up being the catalyst for something that sets you in a totally great direction? I mean, that's been a long time, 22 years, almost 23 years. And you could have just said, well, I guess I'll go get another job, but you took the leap, and that's really cool. Your team went with you as well. I think that shows a lot about who you are as a leader.
They're really good people. We just have a great thing together.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you do a lot of things in the industry that are not just on these pages in a magazine.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about LBM Journal today, and what are you doing? What's your mission, and how do you serve the overall industry? Because This industry does like to get information a more traditional way, but you're also coming into the tech space with social media and a lot of events and postings. Tell me about that.
Well, I guess kind of like our mission is to build the community. So it's not, we don't do things that necessarily, everything doesn't have to make money. We're never going to have Lowe's or Home Depot on the cover ever. Yeah. And other magazines do because that's where there's money. So in this one, we have Baker Lumber, a little lumberyard in Michigan with Blue, their dog, on the cover. I mean, this is not a money maker, but this is the community. Yeah. And they've got a great story.
They do.
So that's the thing. It's about strengthening building the community because the LBM community is full of amazing people.
Yeah, and it's really the heart of what our business is people like Baker Lumber. So tell me about Baker Lumber, because you said something funny when you first talked about the cover, that it's Baker Lumber. So tell me what you said.
Company was called Baker Lumber and Sons.
Yes.
But it's actually owned by daughters.
I love it. The irony is amazing.
Right.
And the cool part about that is that I'm sure that the dad or granddad started it. I'm third generation lumberyard. My granddad started his, then my dad. And now here I am. My dad had 3 daughters. He didn't have any sons. So it was either me or nobody.
Right.
So here we are.
Yeah.
Tell me about their story a little bit.
It's like a family that came together to do this thing that's important for their community.
Yeah.
And so they, there's a son too. And he went off and was like an accountant for a big accounting firm. And so it's just, everybody just kind of, they went off and then they came back and now they're home.
That's cool. A lot of people do that. Chick-fil-A, they actually, I think, made all of their kids and grandkids go work somewhere else beside that to just see what it's like not being, in that culture. I think that helped me a lot when I went to a bigger company, to have the view of different things and kind of take some good from that, take some bad from that, and figure out what needed to be there. I think that's helped me a lot in my business.
Yeah.
When you look at media today and like the stories that you tell, I would love to hear just one or two that you like really resonate with people, that some of the things you've seen or heard in the last year or two. I mean, there's so many amazing people in our industry, and I do feel like their stories just need to be told, which is what you're doing. So tell me a few of them.
Let's talk about Walker Lumber.
Oh, love Walker Lumber. They're in Nashville, right?
They're in Nashville. We're having our LBM Strategies conference in Nashville because of Walker Lumber.
Yeah.
So they were nominated to be a LBM Dealer of the Year.
Wow.
I'd never heard of them. But we read the nomination. I was like, these guys have a great story.
Yeah.
And they won the Dealer of the Year for their category. And I asked them if they'd come and speak at our conference.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, but they wanted me to come out there first and meet with them and see what they do and how they do it.
So you understood. Yeah.
So I flew out and I just thought, okay, it's going to be a great company doing great things, right?
Yeah.
But it's beyond that. So they took me out to the lumberyard. A lot of companies have as few workers as they can get by with. They have more than they need. Wow. Because they have a second chance program.
I've heard about this. It's super
cool. Which is spectacular. So
they
have people who are returning citizens. They're like former people with addictions and criminal records, but who are wanting to build a life. Yeah. And they give them that opportunity.
That's amazing. My friend Gina Schaefer does the same thing, and I think those stories that she tells, that the people are so grateful for that second chance, and then they become some of the best employees that they've ever had.
Right.
I'm sure that they have the same at Walker Lumber. They also have a really beautiful building. I remember seeing that cover that you did with them of that white building with the black letters, and it's very striking. They do they have a door shop there?
I don't believe they do have a door shop.
I would love to tour it. It seems like a great place, and they have something special. What do you think? You said Lowe's and Home Depot will never be on the cover, which I don't have a problem with personally. I'm curious, we have this, I'm calling it the Clash of the Titans right now. QXO with Brad Jacobs and HD and Lowe's and all of the giants. GMS's purchase went through today for Home Depot. How does the independent lumberyard and dealer survive and thrive in the market today with all the things going on?
I mean, I think a big part of it is like here we're at Do It Best with True Value, and the room we just came from the kickoff. I mean, packed. There was thousands of people in there. So it's, I think a lot of it is bonding together using co-ops.
Yeah.
The more personal you are, the more, I don't know, there's a real power in that. So there's a lot of people who, I mean, I have a funny story about when I needed a wheelbarrow.
Okay.
So I went to, and it was too late to go to the local Ace Hardware, which is downtown Lakeville. So I went to Home Depot, and I said, "Where are the wheelbarrows?" And they said, "They're back there." So I went back, and you had to, and they're all disassembled, so you have to get the right parts. So you have to get the handle, and then the thing,
like
and
a
then the
puzzle
wheels.
in the aisle.
Right. And so I figured out which one I want, and then I finally found the 3 parts that go together. That I was really proud of myself. So I wheeled it up to pay for it, and it rang up for a penny. And so the woman said, "You can't buy that." It's like, "Well, I'll pay more than a penny." And she said, "No, you can't buy that." And they took it away and said, "You have to go buy a different one." It's like, "Well, why can't I buy this one? This is fine." It's like, "No, you can't."
You're like, I've already literally engineered this myself. I've already done all the work for you. What do you want from me?
So I'd been there like an hour trying to wandering around by myself, trying to figure out. And it's like, it was ridiculous. So I went home without a wheelbarrow. And the next morning I went to Ace Hardware, and I walked in, I said, "Do you have wheelbarrows?" They said, "Yes, we do." And they said, "They're right there." And I said, "Great." And and they said, I picked one out, and I said, "I want that one." They said, "Would you like us to put it together for you?" I said, "I'd love that." "Would you like us to deliver it?" It's like, "I'd love that." And it was a better quality product, and it cost less. It didn't cost less than a penny like the first one, but it cost less than the ones I would have had.
Who cares if it's a penny if you can't buy it, Rick?
Right, exactly.
It's crazy.
So it's like, what the hell, you know?
Well, and I think that is the answer, is the service, the niching, people that are really good at certain things, especially more technical things. Like I think about doors and windows and decking, railing, and things that are tough. Like you got to have some expertise, and there's a lot of parts that could go wrong. Those are dominated, I still feel like, by independents that really have experts. And then having a customer service model where you care about your people and you're obsessed over the customer experience, that's how people keep coming back. Because I promise, if you had a choice between that store number 1 experience and store number 2, you're going back to number 2 every time, right?
Right. And I wrote about that in my publisher letter, the wheelbarrow, because people, it was because it's so absurd and it's real life.
Yeah.
And the other, you asked about independents competing. So Walker Lumber, before they bought that location, and they did a bunch of research to figure out how to build their new yard, what they wanted it to look like. And so they went out to visit Ganal Lumber in Southern California. And they got a lot of ideas from that. Yeah. But Ganal is an independent, privately owned company in Southern California. The bigger companies, big national companies keep coming in and trying because there's so much business out there. Yeah. And Ganal just continues to grow. Like, I think it's 13% growth year after year for 20 years. So they're just, and it's just by doing the right things. Yeah. So.
And they've built this reputation. People ask me a lot, well, like, what is branding? Well, branding is not logos and colors. I mean, that's part of it, right? But branding is reputation when you're not sitting in the room. What does it mean for you to walk away and someone know who you are? Hopefully they remember who you are. Right. And then they remember the feeling, the service, good or bad, the products, all those things. And people like that have those reputations and they have visibility, they're almost unstoppable. And I don't know very many pro contractors that would not want to work with them instead of the opposite. I think there's going to be some disruption. I think about Brad Jacobs a lot. I've read his book 3 times. I've, researched a lot of stuff he's doing. He's hiring a lot of people that have been in our industry for a long time that have run US LBM. They've run, big companies that have done well. He's hiring AI people from Target. He's hiring production AI people for purchasing from Walmart. I mean, he's done this 7 times in other industries that have been pretty boring industries. So I do think he will disrupt and he's already doing that. But I wonder, is he going to figure it out or not? I don't know, And then even with the SRS, they're a great company. They've kind of left them alone for now to run their business like they were before. They have a great leadership team. I think about that a lot. Like, what is that going to look like in 2 to 5 years? I don't know, because companies that big, they have to centralize. They don't have a choice. And I do believe decentralization in my experience, has been the way to actually really dominate long term. Because you can build a brand that works for your market, a customer base that loves what you serve in that specific market.
Yep.
When I was in two-step, that was how we won. Was we ran under an extremely decentralized model. My boss used to tell me, he'd say, yeah, if I wanted to sell lemonade in my branch, I could sell lemonade. And I'm like, well, I mean, I guess that's true. And we did, because we started a door shop there, and it was all a fun experiment until all of a sudden they were like, wow, this is a good idea. Let's do it 10 other places. So I think people can win if they get innovative and they stay hungry and have great customer experience.
Right. And Brad Jacobs he's very bright. He's really sharp. I've read his book. Yeah. When he started to come into our market before he did.
Yeah.
I got a signed copy of his book in the mail. It's like, I don't know who this is.
Yep.
But I read it. It's like, this guy's brilliant.
He is.
You know? And he's very sharp. So I have no doubt that he's going to succeed.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that there's still room for the independents, even if when he does succeed, I won't even say if. I feel like it's pretty certain. 7 out of 8 times, I feel like he'll bat 8 for 8. But that is the interesting part, is the business that he's going after and the business that the independents are going after. It can be different. It does not have to be one or the other. So I think it's interesting. This episode of the Grit Blueprint podcast was sponsored by Do It Best Group. Do It Best Group is the largest co-op in the world, and they help independent hardware and lumber yards all over North America win. Do It Best offers services, products, and people that can help you win long term. They are the champion of independence. Well, let's shift a little bit. I want to talk about media because, the media business is interesting. Print media in a lot of places, some would say is dead, but in our industry, it's not at all.
Right.
And you've proven that, and there's other people that are doing it well. I actually have sort of a contrarian view on that. I believe that because people are so tired of getting digital and emails, that they actually like to touch and feel something in their hands.
Right.
Even direct mail is doing really well. So how are you balancing that of, the print media, the digital, all the things that you have to do a lot now?
Well, it all comes down to what our audience wants and where they want it. Mm-hmm. So there's a story about we have a print story. So I launched this in 2003 on a shoestring, and we're this tiny little team, and we were growing slowly. But then in 2008, I remembered Hanley Wood. I don't know if you knew him.
Yeah.
Okay. So very, very big.
Yep.
And they
Pro Sales magazine, right?
Yeah. They were they were by far the leader in our market. Mm-hmm. So their CEO, Hanley Wood CEO, came out with a big announcement in 2008 that they were pivoting to digital first. And I just thought, wow, I wonder if they know something I don't know, because for our market, it's an older demographic. They like paper, I think.
Yeah.
So then I thought, well, we do these quarterly ad studies. And one of the questions on that is, how do you like to get your data? Print, digital, or both? So I went to that, and it said, well, for our audience, it was like 90% prefer print.
Wow.
So we thought, okay, you guys go over there and do digital first, and we'll do audience first. So I think if you just pay attention to your audience.
Yeah.
And not because a print magazine is expensive. And,
it is.
And like number crunchers, if they look and say, well, if we could get rid of the postage, which is for LBM Journal, it's like $15,000 a month.
Wow.
And the print bill is about $20,000. Okay. So if we can get rid of those two expenses, think of how much money we'd make.
Yeah.
But then you get rid of those two, and then you don't have the product that people want. So then, so that's why we started like this, the burr under the saddle of the big guys. And then in 2018, we became the #1 book in our market, and now we're the leading title in our market.
Yeah, you guys crush it.
Well, it's just from listening. It's listening and just doing what people want and being nice.
I think that's a really good point, because I don't think you should chase every trend, because you're never going to win at anything. Most of the people that I do see, like what you said, you looked at the data and you went with it doesn't mean you don't change when you need to, but you give people what they want still. And you're also really good. One of the things I love about what you do at LBM Journal is you're having events that teach people things, that connect people with LBM strategies. So that's coming up. Let's talk a little bit about that. It's in Nashville this year, October 15th through the 17th.
Yes.
Embassy Suites in Nashville. Nashville is like the best city ever. So I can't imagine you're not going to sell this thing out.
We have sold it out.
Okay. It's already sold out, so you can't even go, but you can read about it.
On the wait list.
You can read about it, and
Yeah.
you should sign up for next year.
Right.
But it is a great event. So I've been to it before. Tell me a little bit about what your thought was when you started doing that. Why did you start it, and what has it turned into for you?
We started it because I went to another industry conference. It was put on by an association in a magazine, and it just felt off, and I couldn't really, and I didn't know what it was. So I looked through the registration list, and it just seemed like there's way more sponsors than dealers.
Yeah.
And I counted it up, and it turned out there was between 4 and 5 sponsor personnel for every one dealer.
Oh, wow.
So the dealers were unhappy. The sponsors were unhappy. Everybody was unhappy except the people who got to cash the sponsorship checks, right? Because that's where the money is.
Yes.
So we decided, so that event died. So we decided to launch one because our industry needs something. And we decided to put a strict limit on the number of sponsors. So we'll actually sell out of sponsorships.
Okay.
And turn people away and turn away money, which for a little media company is very weird.
Yeah.
But
I love the FOMO that creates, though. Very smart.
Yeah. So it's so we do that, and then this year we're limited. Well, we're always limited by size, but this year we're just spreading.
Yeah.
Most of the people who get on the stage are dealers themselves, and that's by design. We don't have a lot of consultants and people who've never done it but like to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because we don't want them talking to our people.
Yeah. Our industry doesn't take kindly to people who don't know how to actually do what they're saying.
Right.
I get told that a lot because, I've been in this a long time and people don't like that. So when you start talking about all the things that you they're like, oh, okay, you actually know what you're talking about because you grew up on a lumberyard and you worked in a big door shop for 10 years. So, but it's interesting when you think about what people are talking about. So what topics are going to hit the stage at LBM Strategies this year?
The number one topic, it changes. There's tariffs, there's all kinds of things that hit. But the number one chronic challenge is attracting, hiring, and retaining good people. So we have 3 companies that have been named a great place to work in their market.
Yeah.
Sharing how they do that.
Okay. Who are they?
Okay. We have Par Lumber.
Yeah.
We have Erie Materials. And we have Star Lumber.
Oh, okay.
So, and they all have great stories.
That's awesome.
And we have, we're going to have Ray Hales, the CEO, the former co-owner of Walker Lumber, because they sold to US LBM.
Yep.
So he and I are going to talk for a half hour just about the operational things they're doing. They have a thing where they track how long it takes for people to get in and out of their yard. So they time that. So it's the average is 17 minutes.
Wow.
So we're going to talk about how they track getting people in and out in 17 minutes.
Is that from moment they walk in the door, take the order, check out and everything, or just get into the yard?
That's from when they pull into this area.
Okay.
And then when they pull out.
Wow. That's pretty cool. You see that at drive-thrus. It makes sense to use that type of technology in a lumberyard as well. If it works for somebody like a Chick-fil-A or somebody like that to make efficiency happen, I think it's a good idea.
Right.
Yeah. I talked to Scott Morrison yesterday. He's here with Do It Best, the member operations excellence guy, and he's got 40 years of experience. And we were talking about that because we laid out a door shop and we had a hard choice to make. One way was going to get us 400 more slots in the location, which was a lot in a big distribution facility. It was 170,000 square feet. The other way was going to give us better forklift flow. We chose the 400 spots. We chose wrong.
Right.
Almost immediately, we were like, this was a big mistake. And to unbolt down racking and relay out a shop like that with 1,500 plus things that are already filled with stuff, it's, the pain there is a lot. So getting something right like that, it's a big deal. And I think that's something I hear a lot of people talk about. It's a cool program they have here at Do It Best to do that. I think it's going to be very well received.
And Scott Morrison is very sharp. I've known him for years.
Yeah, he is.
He really knows the stuff on lean.
Yeah.
And the yard design. Yeah. He's very good.
And I'm sure he can walk in and kind of see what needs to be done. But he was actually saying that a lot of the people that he works with already kind of know what the problem and possible solution is. They just don't know exactly how to implement it. So that's what he's really helping them do, which is cool. Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit more about, you have an award ceremony that you give out some awards at LBM Strategies, which you started, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, we started doing that. 2 years ago.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Okay. So we have a few programs. We have our Century Club, which honors lumber dealers that have been around more than 100 years, which is
Okay.
awesome.
That is really cool.
And as we get like every year now, it's kind of speeding up, and we're getting more and more and more new members.
Yeah.
So it's right now that like the total years, it's like 38,000 years total combined.
That is so,
Yeah.
I love that about our industry. It is a really interesting thing that I don't think many industries have that.
No, they for sure don't.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
so we recognize them. We recognize we have a 40 under 40 that we started, and that was to honor and celebrate the young leaders in our industry.
Yeah.
And there are, even though it's a lot of our audience has a tough time attracting and hiring young people.
Yeah.
There's some really, really sharp ones out there. So we actually have a 1-hour panel discussion this year with a member of last year's 40 under 40 moderating it,
Okay.
with 5 members of this year's class on the panel.
That'll be great.
So it's going to be talking about what they're looking for in their next adventure, how lumber dealers can attract young people.
Yeah.
So that's going to be good.
That'll be awesome. And I love that you're highlighting those people. I remember when I first got, an award from something like that, it was like the best day of my life. It really did inspire me to do more, because it was like, okay, I'm doing something, I'm working hard. I got recognized, and then it was like, I need to work harder. I need to do more. And then it also allowed me, 40 under 40, you get to meet 39 other amazing comrades that are in the industry, most likely are not competitors.
Right.
And you can band together and actually grow together, which is super cool. So you're making like a little club of just lumberyard and dealers that are awesome, and they're young people that are awesome in it. I think that's cool.
And that's the whole building the community thing.
Yeah.
Because that's my goal is to we want to do more things do things to kind of organize them, keeping them together where they can build the community and like bring in next year's people and like that. And it's just LBM Journal is a tiny, tiny team, so we don't have the bandwidth to do everything we want to do, but that's on our wish list.
Well, I'm sure you'll get there. It seems like you've been making big moves the last 2 years. So, the LBM strategies started as like 200 people or something, and now
it was like less than 100.
Okay,
people.
so what did it sell out at this year?
Well, this year it sold out at 250 people.
Wow, that's amazing.
And we're a month and a half away, so we could have easily gone a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And the goal isn't to make it big. The goal is just to, and people have talked, it's like, how big do you want it to grow? It's like, I don't really want it. It's about just, we want to keep it where it works for everybody.
Yeah. I think it's really smart, though, to keep it exclusive, where you don't have, it's not trying to sell as many tickets as you can. It's, here's what we're going to do. And if you want to come and you're the first 250, awesome. And if not, then see you next year.
Next year, exactly.
Do you know where it's going to be next year? Are you announcing?
I think we know where it's going to be, but we're waiting till we lock in all the hotel details.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to hear about it.
We'll know that soon.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
If you could tell someone who is a younger person and is thinking about getting into the industry, based on all the great conversations you have, I think there's a lot of opportunity in this industry, but people maybe don't know.
Right.
What would be some things that you would tell people, younger people, that are thinking about getting into this business?
I would tell them that there's an incredible opportunity, that people are always going to need houses, that the people who run lumber yards, for the most part, are just really, really good people. It's a really good community, and it's something where you can start off working there in high school, and then end up just running the company someday or opening your own. And you can earn a really good living.
Yeah.
And it's not sexy like whatever, Google or tech. Yeah. But it's real.
Google got really unsexy when they laid off all those people the last few years.
That wasn't very sexy. Yeah.
It was. I had actually had someone I know that worked at Zoom, and it didn't end well. And I'm like, yeah, those sexy tech jobs weren't really too great when everybody got laid off. I think every industry has moments where it's hot to trot, and sometimes it just isn't. And our industry, you mentioned the Century Club. I was just doing a engagement with Do It Best here, and we were talking about AI and social media and all the things. And I actually asked the room, there's 120 people in there, how many of you have businesses that are older than 20 years? Basically the whole room, raise their hand. How many of you have 50 years? Oh, at least half. How many are over 100? There was 3. And so that was a room of 120 people. So that's pretty darn cool that many people have legacy businesses. I am seeing so many third generation, fourth generation come along
Hmm.
and they've seen what their family has done. They want to do that plus some. They
Right.
don't want to let down the legacy
Right.
and they're trying to innovate.
Right.
How do you think AI and technology and all the things that are coming so quickly down the pipeline, how's that going to affect our industry? What do you think the great opportunities are and what scares you?
I think the AI used to be a lot more scary to me than it is now.
Mhm.
Now that I'm like using it more and playing
Yeah.
around with it.
What's your
I-
preferred?
Right now, I've just been using ChatGPT,
It's pretty hard to beat
the pro,
ChatGPT.
the pro version. It's
It's a-
very good, but
It is.
I think I don't think it's going to replace people.
No.
I think it's just going to be a tool for us to work smarter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like any other tool. People who get in early, and
Yeah.
use it to their benefit.
Absolutely.
There's a saying I have on my wall. It's reality isn't the way it appears to be or the way you wish things to be, but the way things actually are.
Mm.
Either use reality to your benefit or it'll automatically work against you.
Oh, that's strong.
And the
That's-
reality is that AI is here.
It is. And one thing I talk about with people that I don't think people understand is you can start using AI and really get pretty good at it pretty quickly. You don't have to be a coder. You don't have to be good at tech. Everybody can use it. It'll teach you how to use itself.
Right.
That's the crazy part. It is the manual. But the biggest thing I want people to know is we do not have 20 years of rev up period like we did with the internet. You will not have 10 years, 15 years, 20 years to get your computer and get the internet and the Wi-Fi's slow and all those things. No, I believe truly, we have an arbitrage moment, 18 to 24 months, and the whole world will be completely different. It'll be probably faster than that, but I think in our industry, we're still going to hold back a little bit because we are so slow to change.
Right.
I really believe in 18 to 24 months, it looks totally different.
Well, speaking of AI in the conference, we're starting off on our Wednesday afternoon, and we're doing an AI workshop.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah, so that's going to be 90 minutes deep dive into how to use it, practical, tactical.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the rest of the afternoon is the awards.
That'll
So-
be awesome.
It's going to be fun.
It will be. I mean, there's everywhere I go, people are asking about AI, and I'm always surprised there's a lot of people in the room that have used it and some that have never tried it.
Right.
And I think that's the fun part is it's not too late to get in on the game. It's not going away. And if you want to learn how to use it, if you just start with something small like ChatGPT, writing an email, or doing I actually love to use it as a research assistant. Before this podcast, if I went in and put your name in, there's a lot of things out there about you because you're a media person. But even if someone doesn't have articles written by them or about them, or they don't have anything, if they just have a LinkedIn profile, you can at least get some tidbits from that to know about people.
Right.
And I think one of the things I took, actually bringing it back to Brad Jacobs, I thought one of the most interesting things in his book, he talks about going to school on people. And what he means by that is just, researching and going deep dive into people. He was actually on a podcast called the Founders Podcast. I don't know if you've ever listened to it. It's
haven't.
such a good podcast. You should check it out. This guy reads biographies of people and also sometimes does interviews, but he read the book and did a deep dive. But he talks a lot about that. That's one of the things that makes him so good is he knows what he's going into. So before he came into this industry, and I think that's a big deal with AI is you can do great research on people, on products, on trends, data analysis, 5 minutes instead of 50 hours on a
Right.
data spreadsheet.
Right.
I'm not a lover of spreadsheets, Rick. It's not my thing, but I can do it with AI and it's no big deal. So
Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite way to use AI?
But one way I used it, I hate spreadsheets too. I don't get Excel.
Yeah.
But I needed a spreadsheet to track our dealer profiles over the years.
Yeah.
So it knows it. My ChatGPT is trained and knows who I am and knows what LBM Journal is. So I asked it to make me a spreadsheet to track our dealer profiles.
Yeah.
And it
That's
made
cool.
this elaborate, amazing spreadsheet.
It could probably give you some really cool data if you put all your things, all the statistics you have and everything. I would love to see what does a LBM knowledge hub look like? Because we're at Grit Blueprint, we're building a lot of custom knowledge hubs for people. I think if you did that, you guys could do that yourself. And then you have all this data because you got it from all these years. I mean,
Right.
20 plus years of,
Yeah.
man, I don't know how you would get all those records back of everything you've published.
We actually have it all digitally.
Wow.
And actually the publishing conference I just came from, there's some big AI companies that are scraping
Yep.
and grabbing the knowledge from publishers, and so publishers' website visits are going down. They're losing business.
Wow.
So there's a coalition of publishers, magazine publishers, who you can join this coalition, and then they will negotiate for you with the big AI companies so that they can't just take your stuff.
Yeah.
They take it, but then they have to pay you
That
for it.
is one thing that I think is going to be a negative from AI is that it will be hard to know what's real and what's not.
Right.
And also intellectual property is going to get really fuzzy really quickly.
Right.
Which, you know, I still think if you have an article that you wrote, it's going to be, people could go online and say something from your article anyway and act like it's theirs, but it's just easier to get thousands of things at once instead of doing it one at a time, I guess. But for you guys, I would love to see that data part. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see it too.
Yeah. And I think we could do it with the Knowledge Hub. I know how we would build it, but we should talk about that because there would just be probably some insane things that would come out, trends, things that we don't see. I mean, there are smarter people that can look through all the spreadsheets, but it's not going to be me, that's for sure. But the AI can do it and then give it to us.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. If someone is interested in learning about working with LBM Journal, working with you and your team, you have a lot of ways that they can collaborate with you, whether they're a dealer, a vendor, a partner. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Just go to lbmjournal.com and see what we do. And if you do if you're a dealer and you're doing cool things, write to me. Let me know. Because we're always looking for dealers to profile. And we're if you're a manufacturer, if you're something like that, you have something to sell, we have advertising. So it's like there's
digital advertising, print advertising, you guys got it all. But I do love that point about the dealers with the cool stories because these people are often very humble,
right?
And they don't like to tell their stories because they feel like it's braggadocious, but it's not. And I would just say, for the independent spirit, I think every time that the story, it's like every time an angel gets its wings, a bell rings.
Right.
Every time another independent dealer gets spotlighted and they get to tell their story, someone else reads that and thinks, I'm going to go do more. I'm going to go a little bit further.
Right.
I'm going to stay in this another generation because they want to be that or more in their own business. So I think it's very inspirational. And I do think we should all share our stories because visibility is really what leadership is all about. I think the more you can lean into that, the better it is.
Yeah. And we've had some people are scared because they've done when I first started this, I talked to some dealers and they said, well, we did this once and we got burned. And it's like, well, how'd you get burned? Well, we were misquoted. So, or something. Yeah. And so now what we do is the dealers they get to see what the story beforehand. So it's really their story. Yeah. But they're not surprised when it comes out in print. It's like, they feel good about it.
They kind of executive produce a little bit, right? Yeah. So I don't blame them for wanting to see it. You know, I'm the same way. Yeah. And I think that's good that you do that for sure.
What's their story? Yeah. I mean, we're just the messenger.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Well, thank you for all you're doing for our industry. And thank you for telling the stories of the people that I love the most, the independents.
Well, thank you.
Well, and also I hope you have a wonderful market. Going to be a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
And there are 9,000 people here. So make sure you go and people here? Yes, I believe there's supposed to be 9,000 people here this week.
That's insane.
It is. So bring your walking shoes.
Exactly.
I did. Go check out all of the cool stuff. I saw there's going to be puppies tomorrow. I don't know if you're a dog lover.
Golden retriever. We have 3 dogs. Yeah.
I hope if there's golden retrievers, I promise you they will be in this podcast booth. And there won't be anyone on the earth that can keep me from bringing them in here. Right. Not one person, Rick. Last year at the spring market, there was adoptable puppies from the Humane Society, and they're going to be here again this time.
Are they?
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to bring them in here.
Are you going to go home with one? Maybe.
That sounds like a great idea, Rick. That sounds like a great idea.
I'm just throwing it out there.
My husband's in the background, very upset that you threw that out there because it doesn't take much. I'm not actually allowed to go anywhere where free dogs are available because I'm just too weak of a person. So That's just not my strong suit.
Yeah.
But hopefully, at least we can get one in here into the podcast booth.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me on the Grit Blueprint. And if you are interested in working with Rick and LBM Journal, go to lbmjournal.com and we will see you on the next episode. Thank you for listening to the Grit Blueprint podcast. If this episode helped you think a little differently about how to show up, share it with someone in your building world who needs it. If you're ready to turn visibility into growth, then head to gritblueprint.com to learn more and book a call to talk to us about your growth strategy. Until next time, stay unmistakable.